Hello, adventurers. Lex Gray here. Welcome to another entry. Today we're exploring episode 15 of Morter Travels. Let's begin. So, we are still in Corwin at the moment. Morter is attempting to enter perhaps the main holding area for prisoners, traitors of the Corwood family regime. One thing I forgot to consider was his father's current motives. Let's go to the list. So, his father, Damon, as I have expressed before, kind of a retcon is that he is a harbor master, so he's not exactly skilled in fighting. He can defend himself, perhaps melee. He has experience, also a survivor of the Great Rift, which is credible, very impressive on itself. But he's not, again, a someone who seeks to fight. But he cares about his love, his wife, and that is Galera. She is currently imprisoned, and we're hoping Morter finds her. So Morter is doing this for her and for him. So Damon and Galera. But where is Damon? Originally, I was thinking he's outside. He's waiting. He's waiting for a cue. He's waiting for something, a moment to go in, or is he considering his options? Let's leave that on the table. So we have three external factors. We have what Damon is going to do while Morter is inside, what Moss is going to do when she's looting, and what Ellery is doing to get inside to take out the big bad, and that is Tegan. Those three external, ongoing scenes are happening at the same time as Morter is inside the Corwood family mansion. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, for this episode, I will not be using moves. I will be going back to using my Omni roll, which is just rolling a custom move, anything, and interpreting the results based on the results. So just wanted to mention that. Now, let's officially begin. We decided that Morter spotted something. I think I was on a strong hit, but basically something he spots inside the holding area. And first I was thinking it is possibly going to be Galera. She is in captivity. She's being imprisoned behind a cell. The guard, I acknowledged, was a large individual who is asleep, drunk perhaps, or just, again, he's not really paying attention. So we were able to get inside the holding area. There's no one else. There's nobody else in the room. Now, let's roll to see how many holding cells there are. Let's go to my dice, and I also wanted to mention I've made some fixes based on an earlier concept to include the action and themes oracle, more legible this time, a plot twist oracle, and the pay the price oracle, which we use from time to time, mostly for misses. But sometimes I may use either a plot twist or just creating my own negative outcome based on the action and theme. So we are rolling again for the amount of cells, the holding cells that are in this little dungeon room. So let's roll for it. Or at least a d6 to we have plus 2 or 3. Okay, there's 6 of them, so plus 2 will go off the d6. Okay, so Morter sees there are 6 holding cells. And now let's roll to see what he finds. Because I left him a cliffhanger. He sees someone. I think we rolled a plot twist. We rolled the secret alliance is revealed. So, what is the secret alliance? Well, most likely it will be a progress roll. Because if we're at this point where, oh, hey, Galera's right there, we'll knock out this guy that's already asleep or something, or free her quietly. We're at 6 out of 10 boxes in this journey. So take Ellery to Tegan, which we've already done, but we're also doing the background val. Now, I made a mistake here. I need to modify this journey to get into and free get into the Corwood family mansion and rescue Glare. So let me pause the video and I will make that fix now. Okay, so what I did was changed the background, not the background val just yet. I erased it. The background val is on hiatus. It is on standby because I'm having conflicting options here. If we are about to save Galera, then why would the background val be formidable? Typically, your background val is supposed to be extreme or epic. That's it. You can't go below that. But of course, I've been hacking this game like crazy. So for now, the background val is on hiatus. I have an idea for the background val, and I'm going to mention it right now. His brother. So ultimately, the idea for this campaign is to the ultimate goal is for Hulf and Morter to find each other somehow through some ludicrous amount of events or some destiny that also includes Demon because he is their father. So I believe that should be the background val to, but he doesn't know about his brother yet. Morter and Damon both believe that the brother Hulf is dead. Hulf believes Damon and Morter are dead. That's it. Oh, we can't forget Edrin, obviously. But that's the both split party. So right now I feel like the background val has to be put on hold. So this journey we're currently on is save Glare from Corwood Family Manor. And it's a specific location. So what we're going to do, it's still dangerous, so that's 2 boxes per progress. We're going to roll to see if this does qualify to, if this progress roll tells the narrative, hey, Galera is in one of these cells. So let's go to our, one of the, my dice rollers. Let's stick with the plot twist. I'm curious about that. And we're going to do a progress roll with 6 progress boxes. Remember, with my rules, my house rule, matches or more is a hit. So we're rolling 6 total. No bonds, no modifiers whatsoever. 6 total. And look at that, a strong hit. Now, also considering those 2, 21 ironically lands on a secret alliance is revealed, which is something is telling me that there is not just Glara is in here. She is here. But there's someone else that's in here of significance, which does not make sense to me at the moment. So who could also be in one of these holding cells, perhaps? I'm trying to think of a character from earlier in the series. Nothing really comes up. I'm sure you guys will be like, hey, what about that one guy? But again, we can check the character list. Let's go back to my main, our master screen slide. Let's go through our characters. Griff is dead. Albin's in another town. Ellery is on her own. Tegan is most likely not going to be in a holding Sarah. A secret alliance is revealed. Gee, I wonder which character we haven't really met or talked much about outside of this actual lore of these episodes. Sarah. Ironically, Ellery didn't know this, and I hope you guys like this. Seller was captured during the whole Arlok arc. Sarah, Kira. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of how to pronounce his name. It's Cear, like Michael Sarah. Michael Sarah. So Sarah. Sorry. um. Okay, so he was captured. They did Corwood family regime busted into one of the Union bases of operations, captured, killed a few, captured Sarah. And Ellery doesn't know this. She thinks Sarah is safe and hiding away, and because remember, he's dying. Sarah is dying of an illness. I made that obvious. So we find Sarah in a cell. He's probably tired or thirsty doing this. He's like asleep. And we see Glare. She's probably very thin, not fed well, thirsty. And she looks up and she sees Morter. Her eyes wide, and she gets up to the door, and she's looking at the guard. She's telling him to come here. So Morter is happy. He calls her mom, stepmother still calls him mom, calls her mom. She's mother, and they hold hands like, "Oh, you saved." She's like, "Shh, get down." So we have to do a roll here that encompasses a journey waypoint. And that's typically with wit. So I said no moves earlier. I'm trying to custom roll this. This will be to progress the journey we're on to save Glera. Now, the complication, not really necessarily a complication, the addition here is the existence of Sarah. So, Morter does he know Sarah? Let's do a wits roll. I don't know actually if he ever met this guy. Probably met him in passing, maybe, but Sarah probably works in the shadows. He probably he's so ill he doesn't exactly go out often. So I'm gonna do just a flat wits roll. We could just ask the Oracle, hey, 50% chance, but I want to have this be centered on the character, his knowledge. So we're doing a wits roll, and that will be the following. So +3 on this roll to see if he knows or recognizes the stranger in the cell. 5, 6, 7. That's a negative. He doesn't. But I have 4 momentum. I'm going to spend one. Remember, I'm doing my pool rule, momentum pool. I'm going to spend one to go +3 to bump one of those up to a weak hit. So those 5, 6, 7, and bump that to an 8 to match the hit. I want to save my momentum because we're in a crucial moment. So it's a weak hit. He looks over to the gentleman the stranger that's in the cell, maybe next to Glare, and he says, I think I recognize that guy. Like he whispers, I think I recognize that guy. And Glare, does she know? This will be a straight Oracle question. Does Glare know who he's talking about? So let's say if she was paying attention, I'm sure if he was brought in, was he brought in before her? I think so. I think no, I'm sorry. I think she was brought in much earlier before Sarah was rounded up. I think Sarah was brought in very recently. So Galera has been there the longest. She looks the thinnest. She looks like she's deprived of sleep and food and water and resources of help and all that stuff. So, but she just still has a spirit to stand up and go see her son. So I'm gonna say, we're asking the question? Does she know who this guy is? And what I did was bring the dice up over my face here, so I don't keep going to irrelevant slides. That way it's easier just to roll the dice so that I can make them disappear. Okay, so rolling, let's say the chances are... if they brought him in and she noticed, she paid attention to what they were saying, like, get in there, Sarah, leader of the unions, who was born on XX year, and you're known for liking long walks on the beach. Your favorite color is blue. Like, it depends on how much they said there. So probably not a lot of conflicting information or a lot to reveal, but maybe his name was uttered and she was paying attention. But also, we have to take into account how aware is she? How healthy was she back then? Or how deprived was she back then? So if he was brought in a few days ago, let's just say 50-50. It's a lot of factors to consider. I'm going to say 50% chance she knows who is next to her, in the cell next to her. Let's roll the dice. 50% chance on this roll. So we're looking at 94. She does not know who that is. Okay, so she doesn't know who that is. It's up to Morter at this point to say, does he have time to save her and the stranger? He doesn't know. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry. He recognizes who Sarah is. He's seen him before, but doesn't know his name. He says, I don't know this guy. And then we rolled just now to indicate how much, but Galera knows of this guy, but she has no idea. She's like, I don't know who that is. They brought him in earlier today. Well, and Moore's like, well, he's keeping an eye on the guard because the guard is he's still knocked out. And he's like, well, if he's down here, he's probably someone important who's against the corporate. And so while he's talking to himself, he's thinking out loud, talking to himself, which I do on my channel here a lot. He then realized, well, this must be someone we can use as leverage. Maybe this is someone who Ellery knows. And then Blair is like, who's Ellery? And then he says, you'll most probably meet her later, but we got to get you and I think this guy out of here. He could help us. This could be someone very important for this for the settlement. So she's like, okay, but how do we get out of here? And so we need to basically. This is classic Wild West, Western movie. The keys are on a key ring, a circular key ring on the guy's belt, and he's out cold. So we got to figure out if we're going to do the sneaky with shadow or with wits on skill, or knock out the guy just in case he wakes up. Um, well, let's again, we can encompass all of this to roll a waypoint with the progress. So I think this will be a waypoint roll, but it's also a chance of face danger, which is a move. So we're rolling. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. We're not actually traveling far. So let's just make this. I'm sorry. Let's make this an attribute roll, an omni roll. So let's use shadow. He's going to carefully get the key ring off of the guard. So let's pull up my dice, and we're rolling uh, shadow, which is his best. The bond here is the mother, so that's 5 total. My shadow is 4, bond is total now 5. So rolling +5 on this roll, and the results are going to be 9. Oh, easy. Gosh, that was really simple. Okay, so the keys easily come off. Maybe the keys are on the table. Let's just say the keys are on the table. Like, this guy is so irresponsible. He's probably the worst of the Corwood family regime. So he takes the keys and he opens the cell door to his mother. They hug, exchange a hug, and they're all happy to see each other. And then also, when the keys are rattling, Sarah wakes up. He looks up and he notices Morter. And he says, "You, I've seen you before." He coughs a few times. Again, he's sick, so we're showing that he's ill. You're the son of the harbor master, aren't you? And then Moore's like, yes. And who are you supposed to be? I know I've seen you before. He says, he looks around, he looking at the guard. He says, oh, I'm Sarah. I'm the leader of the union. Like, your father knows one of my greatest spies, Ellery. And of course, Ellery is typically can be conceived as a female name, and I think Glara's like, who is this Ellery individual? She's getting a little jealous, but again, Ellery's just a friend. And so just to throw in some comedy there if it helps. But she probably is a little twitching anime eyebrow twitching, and Mortar's not really catching a notice of it. Maybe Damon is happy he's not here. Maybe that's why he didn't go inside in the first place. Maybe there's a little rift between the two, pun intended. So Mortar now knows. They both know that he is the leader of the union, and that Ellery has already spilled the beans. I think if I recall correctly, that Ellery has told the party that she is part of the union. So it makes sense that he would divulge that information to get him more credibility to get him out of here. Because obviously, if there's a person breaking into a holding cell that you are imprisoned in, you want to get out too and show that you're not one of these guys. You're not part of this the holders. So the responsible party. So he uses the key and opens the door. Now, when this is happening, I want to make a roll here. We can do plot twist, not pay the price. We haven't done anything necessarily wrong, but I think this either qualifies for this moment. I do this often. I just roll. If things are fairly tame, nothing really exciting happening, I like to roll either the Oracle, which is this one, or Turning Point. Let's do, excuse me, let's do, I think nothing really bad is happening here, so let's do action theme. Okay, the first one is going to be 6, which is swear. 56. Swear the advantage. Swear advantage. Swear advantage. Okay. Now, Mortar says that he does not know Sarah is sick. So he says, look, if you are the leader of the union, the rebellion, then we have an advantage here. If I can get you back to Ellery, then you two can have a better chance of toppling the Corwood regime. That's basically what Morter is explaining quietly whispering um, to Sarah. But the advantage here is not just him there being there, but he doesn't know he's sick. So I cannot forget about the sleeping guard. While they're whispering, the guard starts to a little bit trying to get comfortable, and they hear the creak in the chair. So they both look. Does the guard wake up? So all this conversation that's happening could technically fall into a roll, and that's a question for the oracle. So let's pull up our oracle here. Does this wake up, or does the guard wake up just naturally? Has he had his his power nap enough? Let's say 50-50. Let's leave it up to chance. 50% chance, okay? And why don't you look at that? He wakes up. Now, not a bad thing, because we didn't do a weak hit or a miss by any means, but he wakes up and he sees. We look over as he's awakening, and he wakes up and he sees the three of us. Well, technically, Glara, Morter, and Sarah is in the cell, hasn't been let out yet. I don't think we did that yet. Okay, so the guard, he wakes up, and ironically, Morter was looking over. So what Morter needs to do was knock him out. This will be a quick little fight. He needs to knock him out. So this roll would be using Iron Brute Strength to knock him out. So let's try it. We'll go to our dice, and Iron is only +2. We have a bond here. Maybe 2 bonds because of, well, we'll have to add him soon. We need to prove himself to us. We need to prove ourselves to him, I should say. So this be 1 bond with Glara next door. So rolling Iron. Be +3 total. Oh, 9 weak hit. Okay, I'll take a weak hit. I like that. I'll take it. So a weak hit, which means a weak hit. I think that's a weak hit. 9 over, yep, that's 10-5. A weak hit. So we are able to knock him out, but we can do either an action or a plot twist. Plot twist, I have a tendency to use probably equally or more than action. Depends on if you guys have been keeping track. But I have seen myself going to plot twist more often. I do like using them, but I tone them down depending on the rating of either it's a miss or a weak hit. So let's tone it down. Let's see what happens. We knocked the guard out, but there's a button there. 73. A new danger appears. Not a very difficult danger. So, a new danger appears. I'll keep that one in mind. Let's also go to action and theme. 12. Risk. Okay. 76. Rival. Well, okay, it's calling out. Another danger appears. This is another guard that's doing a patrol, a sweep, but he does not see us instantly. He's about to enter the room, and we knocked out the guard. So because it was a weak hit, we introduce an adversary, a rival, technically Corwood rival to Ellery, or what's his name, Sarah. So we need to do a roll here that encompasses both this guy just about to enter the room, probably needs to speak to the guard, check on him, another one of his members, and we need to let Sarah free in time and escape back the way we came. So apparently there's, well, it could be the guard is actually coming from another access point. Maybe there are 2 or more entrances into this, or it's a hallway, or it's a roundabout cell holding area. So I'm not going too much on the details, but let's say we're going out the way we came, and this other guard is entering from another entrance. So we need to do a roll that involves all of that. And I believe that will be Shadow. Or actually Wits first. So Wits to open the door and get him out of there. So technically with maybe Edge with speed. I think it's Edge. Edge includes speed. So yeah, we got unlock the door, get free Ellery or Sarah, and then all 3 of us get out of there. So let's do the roll now. Edge with a +1 bond. So we're doing 4 total in this roll. 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is a hit. Strong hit. Good. Okay. So which means we are able to get out of there. We're able to free Sarah. He comes with us now. So it's Sarah, Glara, and Morter. in one party with all the other things going on. So I'm keeping up, trying to keep up track of this all in my mind. I'm not writing any of this down. I've been doing this a lot lately. Um, and we escape. The guard, because it was a weak hit, we do escape. We don't get captured, but the patrolman gets inside, enters the room, the holding area, sees that his comrade is knocked out, and he screams for intruder. He screams something out. He says, "We have escaped. Few prisoners have escaped." So he's running, but this will cause a problem for. Now, what would Mortar do here? Does he just let the guard enter and notice that they are escaping to them for the guard to alert the others? He's passive, skilled, and obsessed. He's passive, skilled. Skilled is probably the most relevant trait. So I don't think Mortar is dumb enough. I'm going to track back my steps here. I don't think he's dumb enough to just let this guard yell out, "Intruder, we have a prisoner escapee," or "prisoners escape." That's really much it. I think Mortar is going to let Sarah and Galera escape on their own. He's going to tell them how they got in and how to get out. He says he'll take care of this one patrolman on his own. So that's what we're going to do. So the role we just did before represents letting Sarah and Galera escape. Sarah Galera, that's perfect. Escape on their own. He says just follow the route, go up the hatch, and then wait for me in the storage room. That's it. He says be careful. Maybe he gives a blade to Sarah. He gives a blade. Yeah, he gives one of his blades to Sarah. Okay, so now we're going to roll for Mortar to surprise and ambush the patrolman who enters the room, based on our earlier Oracle question. This will be Shadow. So now we're rolling. There's no one in the room, so we don't have a bond here, even though the community is kind of bonds, but we don't have a bond here. This is a flat roll of +4. Here we go. He's going to attempt to ambush the guard. Wow, okay, great rolls today. 10 over those. Obviously, that's a strong hit. Okay, so he's able to ambush the guard and knock him out. So he ties both of them up. He locks the door that guy came through. And remember, there's no one else in this. I'm going to say there's nobody else in the holding cells. It was just Blair and Sarah. So those two are running. And I think what Mortar's going to do is loot those two. So this will be supply, like so. So now we are at +5. Our spirit is +3 at the moment. Can't forget that. We're not hurt. And my momentum is +3. I'll try to give you guys details because I don't have a character sheet on the screen here. I prefer kind of analog play. And it's been interesting. This whole campaign has been a mix of digital and analog. It's a great little mix. So I just want to mention that I'm still using the stickers here and this character sheet that does not have a background value right now, which is, again, a necessity for Ironsworn. But we are hacking the game as we go. So this is going to be a waypoint. What this next roll will do is a progress roll. It will be, well, actually, I'm going to roll wits to see if we can get back to finding Galera and Sarah, as they are most likely at the hatch waiting for us to get back. Either at the bottom of the hatch or top of the hatch. They're somewhere around the hatch waiting for us. Probably the bottom of the hatch. So we're going to roll a wit roll and see what happens. This is just going to push the narrative. We're going to zoom out a bit in this next moment. So plus wits is 3. So 5 against... Oh, well, if I consider my equal house roll, that is a strong hit. So I'm going to give myself +1 momentum here. And also 2 boxes for the current journey as we get back and we find both Galera and Sarah waiting for us. They're happy to see us. So, but Mortar says, look, all right, he's tied up. Well, we're short on time. Most likely there's going to be another patrolman. He's going to find those 2 tied up. Maybe throw them in a cell, just like that. And he has the keys too. So we can't forget we have the keys and he threw them in the cell. I'm just kind of adding that extra flair to the situation. So they smile and Sarah's like, we can really have coughs again. We can really have someone like you on the Union. And Mortar's thinking that's actually not a bad idea. Galera, if she's the mother, she approves. Galera's like, Just like your father, taking the risks. All right, so they scale the ladder. And what I'm going to do now is a progress roll to see if we can get out of the building. Not necessarily meet up with the others, but we want to get Galera and Sarah, mainly Galera, back to Damon safely. Reunite those two so they can go home or hide for now. But we're still trying to. Ultimately, the mission here is to defeat the Corwood regime and have the Union take over. Hopefully, peacefully. Hopefully, he has good intent. So, one regime for another. See the lesser of two evils, depending on how Sarah is as a person. I mean, let's go to his character sheet because basically he's overthrow the Corwood family regime. Okay, so he wants to take over the town. He's wary, quirky, kind, and dying, helpful. So most likely, if he dies, his next person in line is most likely Ellery. Um, he didn't state that, or I forgot to state that Ellery is next in line, that the right hand woman for his regime. So we're gonna do a progress roll. Let's do that, and this will be for the. We have 8 progress boxes. Let's go. 8 progress boxes, and oh, we have 1 match. So it's a weak hit, which means, we do get them out, and I will close off this. But something happens. I will do pay the price. I won't go full force on pay the price, but let's see what happens. Really interesting to see what happens here. That's going to be 74. Okay. It is stressful. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. We, as a team, we avoid quite a few run-ins with other patrolmen, but not as much as you would expect, because again, the Corwood family manor is not as well occupied as it should, or protected as it should. And it's stressful, so that we're going to take 1 supply, or I'm sorry, 1 spirit down, and it is stressful. I think that's fair. Let's roll one more thing. Now, we get outside. Let's roll for the Oracle to see how things are going outside. That's a 9, 91. So we have escalate. Okay. 18. Direction. Escalate the direction. Something in the direction that we're going. Damon, escalate. Trouble. Something is increasingly troublesome. Damon is being questioned or being interrogated or captured perhaps by a scout, one of the Corwood members. Maybe he was found to be, what do you call that? Looting around. So, loitering around. And now he's being questioned by a Corwood member. So, the team sees this. Morter tells Glare and Sarah to stay back. He'll take care of this. So he goes on top of the roof. Maybe it's an archer or someone. And Damon, this will be a face danger essentially, but this will be to take out this Corwood member that's questioning why Damon is being there. Now, Damon is not necessarily a threat, but it's suspicious why he is at this certain vantage point above the ground level, street level. So this will be most likely shadow. So rolling to knock this guy out again, or disperse of this individual. So +4 on this roll. 5. Oh, okay, so it's a weak hit. All right, I'll take that. I do have a pool of momentum. I'm going to save it. I want to see where the weak hit goes. How does this weak hit turn out? We're trying again to 44, defeat this one. See, Rolster. And 88. Knowledge. I'm going to re-roll the first one. 88 was knowledge. I think I misread it. So 85. So knowledge for theme. 85, which is of course blocked. Oh, construct knowledge. Okay. So construct knowledge. It's a weak hit. So Damon sees that Morter is back. And probably so soon. He didn't expect Morter to come back so soon. He does not see Galera anywhere, and he's worried. He was worried for his safety talking to his guard. So the weak hint is that we knocked the guard out, but maybe because the guard found him, it's a problem. With which means it could be a domino effect, a problem for the others. I'm trying to figure out how to read this. So a weak hit. Let's say that it was the father, or maybe we did endure harm. Maybe it was a little scuffle, kind of like a battle roll. It was kind of a scuffle. We knocked him out, but a weak hit. He was able to fight back just briefly. I'm gonna go down one health. Then construct knowledge. I don't really know how to interpret that. I'm thinking that's actually more just more Damon being concerned. Why? Thank you, but son, why are you back so early? Where's Glare? And eventually, Galera, Morter shows him to the ledge here. He says, "Look, they're right there." So he sees Glare. Glare starts to cry and sees Damon. Damon starts to cry, and they climb down. Or maybe, what's the best way to do this? Let's say they meet up. They go upstairs, and so Sarah is standing there too. And then, just for a comedic scene, Galera slaps Mortar, or slaps, it's just a little tap in the face, not like a anime slap, but kind of a little light slap on the face to Damon, and she says, "Who's Ellery?" Now, does she know Ellery? That's what we don't exactly know. Let's ask the Oracle. 50% chance. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the probability would be. So does she know Ellery? Nope. Oh, wait. Nope, she doesn't. Okay, she doesn't. 59. She doesn't. And Damon's like, oh, just a friend from work, I swear. Uh, he says she's a member of the union, and she's been helping me try to find you. So she helped me try to find you. I went to Arlock. She says she's been helping me. Uh, I helped her. Basically, it's just it's a work relationship. So whatever he says to just calm her down, I don't think really requires a role. It's just, again, it's a comedic moment, trying to be comedic here for you guys, but it's just a little exchange. But ultimately, she's happy to be back with him. They hug and a kiss. They're crying. They're happy. And Mortar's like, okay, okay, look, tells Ellery, okay, Ellery, why these two are about to make out. He's like, I'm sorry, not Ellery. Sarah. She's like, Sarah, while these two are about to make out, Ellery is in there looking for the boss of the Corwood. And there's someone else that I know that's in there. He probably won't say Moss, but he says there's another friend of mine that's in there. Uh, I need to find, make sure they're okay. And so Sarah, he coughs once more, probably coughs out some blood, and he drops to one knee. He coughs some blood out, and Mortar's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Sarah's like, I'm very, I've been, I don't want to say, but there is none of your concern. So we're gonna try to heal him. So try to help him, give him some food. Let's say we give food and water to Damon. Probably assisted this, so we'll take one notch down for supply to +4. Just to give some food and water to both of them. They're both imprisoned for some time. Damon probably does assist, mostly for Glara's sake. But we're going to try heal, give some resources um, to Sarah. But he denies it. He doesn't want it. He's like, I don't want your help. Like, you already saved me enough. Just go find Ellery, make sure she's okay. I'll be fine here. And he coughs again. So Mortar's like, all right. So we closed off this journey. And now we're basically going to create a new journey that says to go find Ellery and Moss. So I'm going to pause the video and write that down. Okay, got that. I chose dangerous, so that's 2 boxes per. Now we're going to roll to see how it starts. This will be wits. So +2, or +3. And the bond here, we do have a new bond. I will add this as Ellery. So writing Ellery down. Or no, sorry, I keep thinking he's Ellery. Sarah, writing that down now. And that's going to be another tick for our bonds. We have basically 1, 2, 3 ticks in the second box. So it's 1 box and 3 ticks. So now we're going to roll plus wits to see how this goes for this new journey we're taking. So wits is +3 plus 1 bond. That's going to be 4 total. And that's 8 over strong hit. Okay, so It's going to be 2 boxes. I'm just putting in here my progress with 1 momentum. I will add to character here, to Morter. And basically, what this means is that Ellery gave us information of Sarah, Michael Sarah, gave us information of Ellery's habits, of how she operates, how she does her job. He knows her. He knows her best. So that's going to be to that's my excuse for using a +1 bond on that wits roll for the journey. Even though we're not using moves, it's just my little custom roll, custom move. Now, it also represents how things went to get to where Ellery most likely is. So again, he gave us information. We're now going to gather information, which is a move, but I'm going to roll in my own little omni roll, and that's going to be wits. So with the information we have, it's +4. This will be basically we are at a certain exterior doorway, or we're at an external part of the mansion. We're not back where we were before. We are in a different spot. So again, I'm still zoomed down a bit. We're not zooming into the very nitty gritty of the details, but this wits roll, we'll try to figure out if we can find her. So we're back to with a great head start, and now we're rolling wits once more. So this is kind of a journey roll. We're kind of speeding up this little scene of it's going to be a montage moment. So we're going to do another wits roll with 1 based on the knowledge we have. So +4 in this roll. And that will be 5 against, so that's a weak hit. Okay, good. I was hoping for a weak hit, actually. I want to make this interesting. So what I'll do on a weak hit is actually do progress, but only of 1 box, actually. So half of dangerous. And maybe pay the price. So actually, if I pay the price, let's do 2 boxes. I'll do 2 boxes, pay the price, and we'll go to our pay the price list. So we are going to roll what exactly happens while we get inside, perhaps, the manor once again, but in a different entrance. A new dangerous or foe is revealed. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see who this foe is. We're rolling for action, 15, raid, okay. And then we have 38, protection. All right, this is a guard. This is just a regular guard. Wherever we are, whatever room we're getting into, we stumble upon a guard. And he gets alerted by us, and we're about to have a conventional combat sequence. So I will then use my progress track worksheet that I use for battles and for other smaller things, and write down guard. This will be troublesome. This is just 1 individual, and we're going to have ourselves a conventional combat sequence. Now, let's see who is able to attack first. Should I just do battle and just kind of speed it up a bit? I think so. So let's try battle. This is a move. Again, I'm going to be rolling with how we approach this. We alerted him, which means we cannot sneak up on him, so we can't use shadow. This might be perhaps are we able to gain an advantage here? Use our skilled, but we gave our knife to. We gave 1 of our knives. Remember we stole it from the patrolman earlier. So can I use a card here? Perhaps I'm going to say we are going to do the battle move, battle the custom, and duelist. So I'm going to be including breaking the rules here using my duelist, where I have to get a strong hit. Basically, a miss counts as a kind of weak hit as a miss. So I have to be strong hit, or it doesn't work. So we add +2 my roll, and this should just be with iron. So +2 on this roll, as we're going to be attempting a battle. So +2 on iron, that's be +4 in this roll. Let's see how this whole sequence turns out with this 1 individual. +4 total. That's 6. Ooh, okay, so 6. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to match that 7, but we can't because it's a weak hit because based on my card. So I'm going to go up 1 more to match, let's see, from 8. We have 5. I have 5 momentum I can spend to bump that up to, I have iron of total of 4 based on the 2 bonus from my card. So my original bonus, iron +2 is 4, that's 6. So I can spend, basically, I can spend the 5 to bump this up to a perfect. So a full hit. Let's do that. So that'll be basically 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm down to +1 now. So that turns into a strong hit. We're able to defeat him, and also, let me know if you guys think that's a little OP. I'm a little iffy on my house roll. Like I'm giving too much edge to my character. You know what? I'll do the next episode. We'll go back to the conventional method of momentum where you just decrease the die. You turn one die into a hit, but I'll let it slide for now. But it does use up one of our supplies. Or actually, let's say spirit. It's just a lot of pressure on us, even with a strong hit. But I do take plus momentum because it was strong hit. So back at the +2, spirit's down. We have to rest. We are tired. We've been through so much. So we defeat the guard. We hide his body, put him aside, and we're going to just take a quick breather. And this will be a roll with spirit. So we have +1. This is a status roll. A +1 on this roll. 3 against. Oh, matches. Perfect. So I'm going to say that boosts us up because it's matches. That boosts us up to 3 spirits. Let's say +4. And the matches gives me an idea. Let's go to plot twist and roll the dice. 65. The true enemy is revealed. Ooh, the true enemy is revealed. Well, better yet, I think a certain someone shows up. So, not Ellery, but I think Moss didn't leave. She likes us. I think Moss likes Morter. And she was concerned. So after she looted, she probably she probably hid some stuff or she found something that she can carry around. She appears. She surprises us. So again, the roll from earlier was the true enemy appears. I have to change that into an ally appears. It has to be for our benefit. So, based on that roll again, which means I think Moss shows up. She looks around from the corner and she sees us just taking a deep. She sees Mortar taking a deep breather or just taking a quick break. Looks up and she sees us and she's like, "You're still alive." And Mortar's like, "Yeah, where were you at?" And she says, "I got what I need. I'm heading out. Are you good?" And then Moss basically like, did you find your mother? Did you? She says, "Yeah, and I also found the union leader. I'm looking for Ellery right now. She's probably in there somewhere, about to uh, about to face against the Corwood, the big bad essentially." So, does Moss take interest in this? Like, if Moss is able to get in further with the help of someone, she can steal more things as an excuse. She's like, "Wow, actually, I can use that to my advantage. I can steal even more things from inside Tegan's own office, like bedroom, like study, basically." So she's like, "I'm in." So this could be. Maybe we try to convince her. Let's take a step back and say we try to convince her. So she's here. She comes across us. Maybe she leaves from a doorway and she runs into us. So you're still here. Like you're still here, kind of situation. We're gonna try to convince her using heart to join us as we're going to look search. We going to look for Ellery. All right. So let's get our dice up. This will be +2 heart. The bond is Moss, but I think this is a neutral attempt to convince her. So we're not really going to use that. I guess we could as a friendship. So I'll use the bond. So +3 total on this roll. Nope. 4. I got momentum. I have 2 momentum, so 5, 6. I can turn to a weak hit, but I want to save my momentum. But I could have her to help. 4. Yeah. I'm sorry, 3, which is 4 total. So no, she's like, "I am not getting involved in your drama. But look," she's like, "wish you the best of luck. I got what I needed." She has a whole bag of like a classic cartoons robber, and she has like a whole bag of goods, like it's like clanging around gold, like and trophies and stuff. She says, "Look, I got what I need. I gotta go. Good luck." And she leaves. So that plot twist was just a reveal that Moss is still around. So she's gone. She's out of there, and she did a lot more than we thought originally. When she was just in that one room, she basically probably looted a bunch of interconnecting rooms to the very entrance that we are in. So she crossed paths. So we now got to go in further on our own. This will be another waypoint roll. And well, we found Moss. She's safe. So I will actually make that one box, or I should probably say, yeah, one box. Cause yeah, I'll do that. Just a hack there. So I'm gonna erase her name from the list. She's safe. Now we're looking for Ellery, which could be even more troublesome. So, but technically dangerous in the ranks here. So we're gonna roll plus wits to see how this goes, and this will drive the narrative moving forward to the next waypoint. Ah, had a power outage. Okay, here we go. So 43. Oh, what am I doing? Plus wits is 3, so that's 9. Oh, not a problem at all. Okay, we find her. Now let's get some subject matter to what we find. So, not only do we at least make progress, I will do 2 boxes. Sorry, I will do 2 boxes for the roll and add momentum to that roll. Now, let's go back to action and themes to see what it was. To create the context, the scene, to create the foundation of the next scene. 48, gather. Okay. And then the next one will be invisible dice. 39. So 39, we're looking at nature. I completely forgot my last roll. My apologies. So nature for theme. 24. Oh, gather. Okay, gather nature. I think that's what it was. Gather nature. Do we enter like a greenhouse or something? Gather nature? Gathering something. I'm going to re-roll that. I'm not too sure about that one. So let's see. I do like gather, so we'll use the action. 94. Gather path. Okay. Gather path makes a little more sense. So we can say that we found a path of Corwood members that either have been either killed or knocked out. So we know we're on the right path. So we'll make our way, and we're going to find the path where she was on, and we reach the door of probably the library, the study of Tegan. So let's go to Tegan as a reference of who he is. I think Tegan definitely not the dragon. Tegan, there he is. This is the big bad. He's reclusive, doesn't exactly go out much, cruel and ugly. So he stays inside a lot. His goal is to advance status, spread court family influence throughout the land. Okay, so she is currently in the room with him. All right. Now, we follow the path of bodies that most likely she's a tough fighter. So we reach the room that she's in, and now what I'm going to do is roll to see how this goes. This be plus. Well, what do we do? What do we do here? We can do a random plot twist just for fun. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of stuck here. I want to see what the dice say. 41. You and an enemy share a common goal. Oh. Well, maybe. Huh. The enemy is Tegan. Our ally is Ellery. But it says the enemy shares a common goal. This could lead into the next arc. We already rescued Galera and Damon. Moss is fine. I wonder if we overhear something. They're talking about something. A common goal. That's how I interpreted it. She's probably about to finish him off, but he says something that catches our ear. Let's roll to see what the context is, because this could be very interesting. The context will be action 67. So strengthen 43. Vengeance. Haldreth. Strengthen vengeance. For some reason, Corwood, again, Tegan, he's been the Corwood family line. I don't know if he's like the grandfather or he's like the original founder of Corwood. I mean, he's in his 60s, as I put in the document. Maybe he's been planning something to spread his influence into Haldreth, and he has plans. And Ellery is probably more focused on just taking this guy down because he's been an absolute tyrant to the people of Corwood, suppressing the innocent, suppressing the poor, taking advantage of supplies and resources, hogging it for their own wealth. Again, classic, king and peasants kind of scenario, but at a smaller scale. It's a large quote unquote settlement. So she's like, "You're a bastard. You care for just yourself and any other potential settlement to take over, and now you're talking about claiming Halders for your own. You barely handle one settlement. What says? How do you think you can handle an entire city?" So Haldreth, maybe he says something about the Great Rift in Ashford. They're having some conversation briefly, and I think we might have to roll for wits here to see if Morter can get all of it. So let's roll for wits. +3. And this might actually drive the narrative too. 4 plus 3, so that's going to be to, let's see, 5, 6, 7. That's a weak hit. So the weak hit will introduce a problem. We do hear, so he does hear Tegan talk about Haldreth and a certain someone who's been sending letters regarding, I have an idea. So he says, I have someone on the inside in Haldreth, and they've been telling me about a certain incident that happened regarding the Temple of Dragon. And she's like, I don't care. He's basically trying to convince her, if you kill me now, you will ruin some big grand scheme he's trying to hatch up. So, does she kill Tegan before we even enter the room? Let's ask the Oracle. 75% chance. I'm pretty sure she will. 75% chance. 58. She does. So a lot of this is happening off camera. We're basically at the doorway listening in. And the weak hit we also have to consider from earlier. So we did get a weak hit. I almost forgot about that. So I thought I heard something. Okay. So what will the weak hit be? Let's do plot twist. Maybe pay the price. Let's do pay the price. Pay the price will be 16. You are separated from something or someone. Okay. While, you know what? This fight goes on for a minute. Not an easy one. It's not an easy just one and done. The fight happens and is separated from someone. Just be crazy, but basically you hear a giant window crack and a scream. So when that happens, we bust in and we see the window. The curtains are moving quickly throughout the window, being pulled out, and there's someone hanging on to the curtain. And there is Tegan. Did not turn out too well for, I think Tegan got the surprise on Ellery, and Ellery's hanging on for dear life, maybe on the 3rd, 4th floor, let's just say, and she's hanging on for dear life outside the window. We bust the door in with our weapons, and Tegan turns around, and he sees us. He says, "Who are you?" So, "Another intruder. Where are my men?" And he's concerned. He says, and maybe he strikes us. He basically is going to attack us because we're just another intruder. So what to do here? This will be, let's do a battle. We'll try to sum this up because of my time here. I'm almost at an hour, which is fine. So rolling wits. This will be, this will be just a brute fight. Iron. This guy's pretty big. He's the boss, so it'll be troublesome. So let's roll for iron +2. Our bond is Ellery. She's in danger, so I'm trying to. That adds to the edge. So we're doing +3 total against this battle roll. How does this fight turn out? 9 against. Okay, so it's a weak hit. And if I want, I will reduce my momentum by 1 to get a strong hit. Okay, so we best him in combat. We best him in combat, and we kill him. We cut his throat. However, we take him out. And but the curtain is snapping off the rings, and we jive to catch it. So we have to do a face danger. Let's say we can kind of include my weak hit there, perhaps. I won't increase my momentum because of that strong hit. So let's say that weak hit from earlier carries over just a bit, kind of spills over to this next roll. The curtain rips, and Ellery is holding on to it, and she's about to fall. We dive, so we got to face danger to dive and catch the curtain just in time. So that will be Edge, which is +3, and of course the Bond, that's +4 for the priority of it. So +4 on this roll to catch her, the curtain piece. +4, that's going to be 5, 6, 7. That is a weak hit. Okay, so the weak hit there, I can also use momentum. So 7, that's going to be +4, 5, 6, 7. Just make sure my math is right. So I need to spend 2 more. I'm down to now no momentum. I match the 9 there, so it's a strong hit. I catch it, and she's right. I look over. Ellery sees me. She's like, about damn time you find me. And she's trying to climb up. I'm trying to pull her up now. So we're going to use iron as strength to pull her up. Bond included. This will be a +3 roll. So we did the edge for the catch. Now we're doing the iron to pull her up. So looks like +3 total. It's 5. That's a weak hit. We are barely able to get her up, but something happens. So let's do pay the price. So we are able to get her up back in the window, and that's going to be 74. It is stressful. Okay, I'll take it. It is very stressful. I'm going to say it's 2. Took a lot of effort, and I'm down to +2 now. So we get her back up. We both fall on the floor, breathing heavily. And remember, she's a little bigger than us, and mostly probably muscle or something. And she leans up and she says, "Thanks." She puts her hand on her shoulder. "Just saved my life." And Moore's like, "Well," amongst other things, and turns around and she sees that the guy, Tegan's dead. Like he's he's on the floor bleeding out. And that, I think, is where I will close the scene out. So let's roll with the current progress move of 7 on this little journey. So this will be 7 against the 2 dice. See how things go. Maybe it's not finished. So 7, yep, it's done. Okay, so we complete this quest. We find her. Go find Ellery, which we did. And I'm going to give myself 2 experience boxes on the top here. And also, we did save Glera. That was dangerous, so I give myself 2 other boxes. Okay. With the strong hit, basic what this means, we escape the manor, and we reconvene with rendezvous with the others. We're grouped up. We're in a good spot. We're out of Corwood. So, basically, the Corwood regime has been toppled. And Damon is back with our mother, Glera. Ellery is back with Sarah. Moss is nowhere to be found. But now what's left to do with the Corwood house? There could still be other soldiers left, other members of the Corwood family left. We could probably try to turn them because the morale's down. It's a classic D&D thing. Mass combat. You take out the leader, the morale's down. You could convert, or imprison, kill off, not send out, anything, whatever you want to do with the Corwood family, the remaining Corwood regime. So I'll leave it at that. That's the questions for myself in the next video, and that's really all I can think of in this video, in this scene. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. So as always, that's all for today. Hope you've enjoyed this telling. Please subscribe, like, share, and most importantly, comment. I'll see you in the next one.